Coming to Montana for me was an absolute dream that I never thought would come about. And we decided, we're going to go ahead and try to put in for the non-resident tag. And we were successful our first year, which is pretty cool. And we made our way up here, and I called Wyatt and texted him, and for the last couple weeks, I'm sure he was wore out with it. But we were trying to figure out, how are we going to hunt? What are we going to do? And as anybody that knows me, I stress out about that kind of stuff. And so we figured it out. So you know what? We'll get up here, we'll wing it. We know how to hunt, let's get it done. So we come up here the first day and basically just learned our way around a little bit, using the onX to find out where the public was, what private we could hunt, where it was at. And it's just so beautiful up here. See a lot of deer right off the bat. And the very first evening, we were this close to getting on a deer. We come across a pretty nice buck in a wheat stubble field with an injured leg, and called Libby and told her about it. And the landowner said, "Yep, if there's a deer in there suffering, go in there and take it out." And that's what we tried to do. We tried to sneak in there to him, and we were successful in that. But he was bedded down, and then he stood up, didn't offer a shot, and he trotted off, and it ended up not working out. The next day, we got up, and that was when Wyatt was able to take his deer. It was a great deer, great shot. I was thrilled to be there and glad that I was there to capture everything and spend the time in the woods with him.
And so that morning we got up and drove over there, and as we were getting to the spot in this draw, there was a buck with a doe bedded down. So we made a game plan, got downwind of him, and hiked up to the top of this hill, this rolling hill, and he was down this draw with this doe bedded down, and he was 400 yards straight down from us. And I said, man, I can make that shot. So we got all set up, and luckily the wind was only about 2 to 3 mile an hour with wind, or the snow was falling, the wind was laid. But got set up and made a 400-yard shot. The first shot, I don't know if I was shaking or what happened, but missed him a little bit. The second shot, I put it right in the money hole, and he went down. So we celebrated and went down to him, and man, he was a good buck. And we didn't get 50 yards from him. That doe finally took off. She was still bedded with him. But got down to him, and man, I was a happy camper that day. And so we did what we had to do and loaded him up, and was going to take him to the processor that day. And then said, man, it's still cool enough outside. Let's go drive around. Let's get you a buck. See what's out there. It's been a great week, man. We're kind of sad it happened on day 2, but that's the way it goes, man. You either get them on day 1 or day 5, and I'll take it either way. So it was a good week, man, and we after some pheasants, and I've been blessed, man. I can't ask for a better week, so it's been a great trip.
We were headed back towards the processor, and he said, you know what, let's check this one other field. And sure enough, there was a big wad of mule deer in the field. We made a game plan. We had to drive around the section line 2 or 3 miles and stalked another 1.5 miles up to them. Saw there was 2 bucks in the group. One was a really nice buck. The other one was a great buck. And, decided either one would be great. So we make our way up there, and the does we caught a glimpse of the does before we got there, and we got pinned down. But we waited it out, and we lost sight of the does and made our way up there, and sure enough, both of the bucks were there feeding on the hill, and we were able to sneak up within 180 yards or so of them. And to shoot a deer of that caliber on my first mule deer hunt ever in a new state on ground you've never seen it's a lot of fun. It's a big accomplishment, and that just goes to show how Wyatt and I work well together in getting out and checking out the properties and knowing what we should do and putting our heads together and making a plan. But I want to thank Wyatt for tagging along and helping me fulfill that dream. He was a great buck. I was just so excited when that buck was down, and he was excited, and somehow, I don't know what happened, Wyatt either double punched the record button or in the midst of things got excited and was unable to capture the kill on video, and he was visually upset, and it didn't matter to me. I was in the field with one of my buddies, and we harvested a great deer, and it was an unbelievable trip, and I told him not to worry about it, and he kept sweating, and I told him, don't worry. everything's gonna be fine. We'll do it again. So we're unable to bring that to you, but I think you can tell walking up on this deer, you know, the sheer joy and the magnitude of what this hunt meant to me.
Oh my God. Oh man, Wyatt. We made it up here to this buck, and it is a stinking stud. Huge forks on his twos. He's like he broke it off or something right there, but he's a 5x4, unbelievable Montana mule deer. This is unbelievable. This is our second day in Montana, and Wyatt shot his deer this morning, and we were on our way to the processor and spotted a group of deer and checked it out on onX, and they were making their way towards public ground. So we made our way towards public ground, and there was another buck with him. I think he was a 4x4, wasn't he? He had forks in both places anyway, whether he had browser or not, I don't know. And he was a great deer. And then this deer steps out, and we're like, oh yeah, he's way heavy. So I cannot thank Libby enough for having us up here into our home state of Montana and to participate in this wonderful hunting that they got going on up here. I'm just beside myself. I shot him, and he was still on his feet. Wyatt and I talked earlier, if they're still on their feet or their heads are still up, shoot them again, and I did. And he wobbled over here and fell down in the snow. But oh my God, am I excited? This is a heck of a buck for sure, and especially for my first mule deer. So Wyatt, thank you so much for tagging along, dragging the camera through the snow, and putting our brains together and making it work out on when to move. And we were both watching for the does, and well, we made it happen today. This is an unbelievable deer. Golly.
So I encourage anybody that wants to go out of state to hunt. There's public land everywhere, you know, and it's awesome. But it's there for everybody to use. So, you know, you can't get mad at this guy for beating you there. You know, you just got to make a game plan. And thank goodness that the state of Montana has got so much public land around, and it's a great hunting opportunity for everybody, from whitetail to mule deer to antelope, elk, upland game, you name it, it's there. So the public land system needs to stay in place for sure.